But first things first, it is the first Monday in February, which means that this is traditionally the worst day of the year for absenteeism. In fact, it's feared that 350,000 workers could fail to turn up to work today. Post-Christmas blues, poor weather and a long wait until the summer holidays have all been blamed. So for all you skivers, welcome along. This is what people do at 12:30 most days. Yes. Watch us. So I'm glad you've all made it in today, ladies. But morally, do you think you can get away with pulling a sickie, or is it just plain wrong?
I think it is totally wrong. Absolutely, 100% morally wrong. I don't care what job you do, don't care how much you get paid, I don't care. I think it's terrible, and I really, I think differently of people who do it, and I honestly do. And I just, you know, because I have such a work ethic, I don't think I've ever taken a day off sick in my whole life. No. And that's like, how long have I been working? Way too long. No, way too long. But I'll tell you what, though, last night, I don't know what I've done. I've done something to my back. I've never had back pain in my whole life. And now I can hardly move. And I woke up in the middle of the night, literally, I was like that. Oh. I had to wake Mark up. I was like, Mark, I can't move. He's like my carer at the moment.
No, you are 50 and
I am officially an old person.
And she's got a blanket over
I've got an old person's blanket. No, but seriously, I literally, in the middle of the night, I did think, oh, God, I'm going to have to phone in. I'm going to have to phone in sick. I can't move. But there, I just thought, no, I didn't. And I thought, I'm going to make sure I can move. And I got up and I'm here. So, you know.
We appreciate that, don't we?
Yeah. I can't think...
That's a round of applause for your age, love.
For my age. A round of applause for getting here aching, wasn't it, sweetheart? No, but I mean, I've got to say, I used to do quite a few sickies when I was younger. I know.
Did you?
Yeah, no, I did. Well, quite a lot when I was driving, when I was at 18 and I was driving up to Wigan to do my cabaret, and I used to think, oh, I'd phone in and say, I've got to put up the tyre. The car's broken down, and turn round and go back home.
How can you do that?
But I did it now. I've got to say, when I was 20, all I wanted to do was be in the West End. And I got in my first show. I absolutely loved the first 6 months. I could have done matinees after matinees. And then it sort of got a bit, Saturday afternoon.
That's life, Zoe. You can't just stop doing it because you get bored.
Well, I did, Lynda.
That's terrible. I think that's
I'm sorry, get your halo off your head.
What about all your fellow workers? It's a disrespect.
They did
to
it as
people.
well. They did it as well.
Well,
Every normal person, I don't believe for 1 minute.
Have you never had a sickie?
No, I've been sick in a bucket on the side of the stage. I have. And then gone on and danced and
We're going to shame you here, Zoe, because I'm with you. I've been on air throwing up. I've worked through every kind of illness.
On air is the key. If you had a job that you absolutely hated...
That is the job.
You're telling me that you hated, you wouldn't want
it doesn't matter. Someone's paying for your services, Zoe. You turn up and you do your day's work. You do the job you're hired to do.
No! Don't be clapping!
They're clapping because it's right. See?
I bet half of these are supposed to be at work today, aren't they?
You know what, can I just say, even when I'm really genuinely sick and I do have to call in, I still feel guilty. I can't do it, even when I'm dying.
I do now.
Now you do, because you've been made to look bad.
But when I was young... Oh, be quiet.
OK. Now, next up, we've all witnessed an elderly uncle or granddad snoozing away in the armchair after lunch, but researchers have found that it's actually 20-somethings who are more likely to nod off. Apparently, daytime sleepiness is more common in younger people than older adults, who are, in fact, much more alert during the day and need less sleep at night. Who knew, hey?
Yeah.
So, when you're in need of 40 winks, can you drop off just about anywhere?
Well, as an old person... Well, interestingly enough...
Oh, just the oldest.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm always awake, though, Karen. I am awake and I never miss a day's work. No, I taught myself, for instance, to snooze during doing plays and things in the dressing room. I've trained I could actually go to sleep like this, sitting up in a chair, and I can do 10 minutes. And as long as I lose consciousness, that 10 minutes, I'm off and I'm raring to go.
Disco naps.
Yeah, but I think that's right. I think young people, you know, are... Well, they'd say that, don't they? The older you get, the less sleep you need. Yeah. And I think you can actually mentally train yourself to do that.
I've always envied people that... You know those people that say, oh, sleep on a washing line, me? I always struggled with sleep until I got pregnant then. I was just like the incredible sleeping lady. Everywhere I went, I'd drive to the supermarket and, you know, you get that overwhelming pregnancy tiredness. And I think... I actually can't get out of the car. And then the next thing, I'd wake up and I'd be on the steering wheel with a big dent in my head, and I'd been there for ages.
I did actually fall asleep just after I'd given birth to my first son. During the scene, All Creatures Great and Small, there was a scene in a bank manager's office, and it was cold and it was hot, and Christopher Timothy and I were asking the bank manager for a mortgage, you know, and I suddenly went like that, and I heard action. And there was Christopher Timothy saying, "Do you think we could get this mortgage, darling?" I went, "Yes, yes."
You never chucked a sickie, but you've fallen asleep on the job.
At least you turned up, though, eh?
Yeah. Well, exactly. I do envy you, actually, because I wish I could do that. I always envy, you know, when you get on an aeroplane and people just sit there and straight away... Oh, hey, I wish I could do that, but I can't do it. The only place I seem to be able to fall asleep in randomly is the pub. And actually, I have seriously been off the booze for quite a while because I've had so much work to do. Unlike me, I know. But then Friday night, I went out for a couple and I had 2 glasses of wine and suddenly I was just sitting there, I just got to have a little nap. Let's have a little nap. There's all these blokes in the corner go, "All right, Carol!" Sorry. Not the first time for ages, though.
She's having a little nod. Oi! Keeping you up, love.
Sorry, no, I can't do it. The only time I can do it, actually, is because it's a medical condition. I'm pretty much allergic to sugar, and I shouldn't really eat it. And if I have a bag of sweets or a big fat chocolate bar, about 2 hours later, if I've really overdosed, I will literally conk. It just takes over my body. And I just conk out. That's the only time I can do it. As exhausted as I am, I can't sleep in the day, can't have a nap. I'd love to. Although when I was pregnant, like you, I fell asleep in the middle of a rugby field for 5 minutes.
In the middle of a game?
Yeah.
You didn't.
I know, I really did, dropped off.
Honestly, Carol, you can go anywhere when you're pregnant. A 40-piece choir. This is when I first met Andrea McLean. She was a part of this show that I was doing, and it was a 40-piece choir singing really uplifting, fast-paced Christmas carols. And they were literally no further than you were. 40 of them nodded off. They were all going full pelt. Unbelievable. OK, well, make sure you stay alert.